Welcome to Fireside Giants, my friends. Coming off this New York Giants versus Dallas Cowboys loss. How am I feeling? Feeling like shit. How do you think I'm feeling? I'm feeling like shit, man. We just watched our team get pummeled, mainly due to injury, man. Daniel Jones, prayers up to him. I heard, Jordan Raanan said after the game that he was talking with his parents, seemed to be okay. Was walking around, was in good spirits. So that's a really great sign for DJ and his overall health. Of course, he'll have to pass protocols for concussions and make sure that he's 100% healthy before playing again. So we'll see what happens next week. But first and foremost, just want to make sure, sending all those prayers for those guys that did get injured. Saquon Barkley's ankle looked like a balloon. That really scared me. I think that he'll be done for at least the next couple of weeks. Kenny Golladay with a knee injury. Who knows what happened? He might have just made a business decision. He just went out of nowhere. So I don't know what happened with him. Rodarius Williams, also a knee injury, man. Like, a lot of guys went down in this game. It's really sad. But at the end of the day, we got to move forward. Hopefully it's nothing long-term. They can come back, next week or the week after that and really just help this team, right? This is a Giants unit that's in peril. The offense obviously has its struggles, but the defense looked pretty bad at times. We didn't really have much of a pass rush. The secondary was not good. James Bradbury was tortured all game long. Dory Jackson gave up a couple of big throws. The tight ends, once again, beating the crap out of us, Anthony. How are you feeling right now? I know it's a pretty somber mood around, but at least we go into these games expecting to lose so that it doesn't feel that much worse when we do lose. But I freaking hate losing in Jerry World, man. I want to beat Jerry in his own home so bad. I want to beat him. I want to beat the refs. I want to beat him in his freaking $100 million yacht box. I just want to beat the shit out of that team once at home against Dallas and really shove it down their throats, man. It's pissing me off. We got to do better, Anthony. How are you feeling right now?
I'm not feeling good. Obviously, this is a super disappointing game. And honestly, I think it could have been a decent game. I think it could have been a close game if not for those injuries that you just mentioned. The Daniel Jones injury, by far the scariest. Okay, Saquon Barkley's injury is scary. He twisted his ankle really badly. It ballooned up. It was really swollen. Terrible looking injury right there. And he's probably going to be out for a significant amount of time, I would assume, probably 4 weeks. And honestly, that's probably the timetable that I'm going to give Daniel Jones at this point because he couldn't even walk off the field. When you have a concussion that's so severe that you cannot walk off of the field and you have to be carted to the locker room, they're probably not thinking he's playing next week. They're probably thinking he might not be playing for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Sometimes concussions are serious and significant, and they last a while. Daniel Jones, this is not the first concussion of his lifetime. He had some in college. So every time you get a concussion, it's worse than the last one. That's how it is. So this one is worse than the last one that he had. It hits you harder and harder every single time you bruise your brain. He could be out for multiple weeks. Doesn't look good there. Kenny Golladay, have no idea what even happened to him. He just had a knee injury apparently and was out for the game at halftime. Just never even came back to the field. That was really random. Barely got involved with the offensive game plan. Shout out to Jason Garrett for that. And then, of course, Kadarius Toney being the absolute superstar that we know he was capable
He's
of
a
being
monster, bro. He's going to be a star.
before punching a helmet, which I never understand. I will never understand in my whole life, why do NFL players
Good way to
get
break your
angry
hand.
and punch people in a helmet? It's a helmet. They can't feel you punching them. They cannot feel it. What are you accomplishing when you do that? I don't understand. So Kadarius Toney looked like an absolute savage out there, and then he just decided to try and be a savage with his fists and got ejected. Hopefully, he doesn't get any suspensions. I doubt it because he didn't
Nah,
even
he'll
initiate the
you just
fight.
get suspended for the game. He'll be out for
He'll
the
get
rest of that
he'll
game. He
get
won't.
fined plenty.
He'll get fined.
He'll get fined plenty, and
No more
hopefully he'll
gold
return
teeth.
next week and build on this past performance. Actually, he has diamond teeth, so
No
he's
diamond. No
way
more
cooler,
diamond
way
teeth.
cooler
No
than
more
just
diamond
gold
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I know Kadarius Toney punched somebody. I know we got a little crazy, but I respect the hell out of that man. He laid it on the line today. He showed us he freaking cares. He wants to win. He cares, man. He got the emotion boiled over in Dallas. They're trying to get something going. They're hitting him. We got wrapped up, and then Devontae KZ throws him to the ground. They start pushing Evan Ingram. He reacts, boils over. He was really mad on the sideline when his ankle got caught up on that big catch. The guy had 10 catches for 189 yards. That was like young Odell Beckham Jr. out there today. We saw a star in the making today. The best part about all these injuries is that we're going to see Kadarius Toney get even more action. We're going to see him become what we know he can be, and that's going to be an all-pro level player in the future if he can remain healthy. He is that good. We saw a player today that can make contested catches. The occasional drop is whatever if he's making those type of grabs. He makes players miss. He deserved to get a touchdown. He got tackled at the 1 like 2 times. I started him in my fantasy team. He had 25 points for me. The guy looked like a wide receiver 1 today, man. He looked better than CeeDee Lamb. He looked better than Amari Cooper. He looked better than any offensive player on Dallas. He single-handedly, with Mike Glennon at quarterback, marched that offense down the field. He even took a snap in the Wildcat and nearly scored on it, man. He showed us today. And by the way, that play where he got tripped up in the end zone, then the cornerback jumps on his back. Apparently, that's not a pass interference anymore. He showed me today that he earned my respect. I respect Kadarius Toney now. A lot of people that were calling him a bust, I hope you understand that you were wrong by a long shot. This guy is a stud. He's a star. He's going to be an even bigger star when they start to really get him going and have all these guys back and the Giants are clicking. This is just a fluke game where you have half your offense get injured, right? What starters did we have in? Will Hernandez and Nate Solder. Nate Solder was playing out of position. I don't even consider him a starter. You have Billy Price, and I don't even consider Billy Price a starter because that's Nick Gates' spot. We had Will Hernandez and Evan Ingram and Kyle Rudolph, who are primary starters, I guess, right? And Kadarius Toney. We had nobody else. Everybody else got injured. The entire offensive line, for the most part, out. Our original offensive line doesn't consist of most of those guys. Daniel Jones out. Saquon Barkley out. Kenny Golladay out. Sterling Shepard out. Darius Slayton out. Andrew Thomas out. How many players could we be missing? We miss we had our second offense in there. Kadarius Toney marched our asses down the field and nearly scored on his own, and they knew it was going to him. He's going to be a star, Anthony. I'm so excited for him. Silver lining. I'm trying to give some positivity to you guys right now. That kid is a monster. He's going to be an offensive diamond, you know what I mean, in the future. He's going to lead this unit to a lot of good stuff, you know what I mean? Like, now what I will say is Saquon Barkley's injury sucks, but it's driving down his price tag astronomically. We are not going to be paying him anytime soon. Like, the guy cannot stay healthy, and it's not his fault. I'm not blaming Saquon for any of this, right? It was a fluke injury where he stepped on Lewis's foot. It happens, you know what I mean? But end of the day, 5th-year option, he's not getting paid until after that season at this rate. You know what I mean? So, Anthony, how are you feeling about Kadarius Toney? How are you feeling about these injuries, paying Saquon? Daniel Jones, it's offensive line. We better be using those first 2 round picks on either offensive linemen or pass rushers, right? Maybe one offensive. I'll go with Neal, and I'll go with a pass rusher in the first round, right? Or even give me freaking Tyler Linderbaum and Neal. I'm done with offensive line crap. I'm done watching quarterbacks get absolutely destroyed all game long.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt when half your offensive line is injured. Obviously, Andrew Thomas out for this game, suited up on the sideline and didn't play. Not really sure why the Giants even made him active. I think they should have made him inactive and just let him rest up and sweatpants on the sideline, keep him, healthy. I don't know why they had him put 40 pounds of weights on his back and padding and just stand there on the sideline. It was kind of nonsensical. That doesn't help. And then, of course, Shane Lemieux, Nick Gates, all of the injuries, Ben Bredesen that we've suffered on the offensive line. We are in our backups at this point at left guard. We are on 4 left guards in the season. So the Giants, their quarterback position is not going to improve until their offensive line position improves. So if we are talking about long-term looking ahead to the offensive or the NFL draft, we're talking about the offensive line. That's got to be the priority this offseason. And of course, unfortunately, it is probably time to start looking ahead to the offseason. The Giants are 1-4 now, and they just lost to Dallas in week 5, and their offense looked bad, and their defense looked bad. And it just seems like it's too little too late at this point. They had a great victory against the Saints last week. I think they followed that up with a horrible performance against Dallas. They lost by 24 points, 44 points allowed on defense. It's actually not even. They only allowed 37 because one of them was a pick 6 by Michael Glennon. So just a really disappointing performance in general from the Giants. The only player that you can say had a very good performance is Kadarius Toney, the first-round pick that the Giants didn't even utilize in the first 2 weeks of the season. He had a couple of decent plays, but overall, the defense in general just didn't play that well. The secondary was bad. The pass rush wasn't consistent. We had a couple of sacks here and there, but a lot of them were a product of Dak Prescott just living to see another down. I don't know, man. It's just a disappointing game. The coaching staff, I believe in it less and less every single week. I believe in Jason Garrett way less this week than I did last week. I mean, I didn't believe in him for the first 3 weeks. He had that great performance. We had some angry trolls in the YouTube comment section saying, Tony, you need to eat your words, calling for his firing. You are an idiot for saying that, blah, blah, blah. Look at how great his offense
One
is when the
game,
offensive
bro.
line
It's
plays well.
one
It was
game.
one singular game in a pool of 22 now games.
Even a blind
22
squirrel finds a
games with
nut.
them. Exactly. It's been over 20 games of Jason Garrett's offense. He had that one good performance last week. That doesn't change anything for me. Now he just went back to being normal, boring, vanilla offense, Jason Garrett. There was a 3rd and 3 in the first quarter. The Giants ran
Why?
3 stick routes and 1 slot fade. Of course,
So
that's an
dumb. Just
incompletion.
get the first
That is
down,
the
man.
easiest thing to ever defend. It's the easiest thing to defend. And then, of course, on the goal line, the 1-yard line, the Giants ran the ball 3 times.
I want to
and they
talk
came
about
away
that.
with
I
0
want to talk about
points.
that 1 second. Do you think what do you think about the play call on the bootleg with Daniel Jones? I'm personally in the boat of just throw a little screen pass to Kadarius Toney and let him get in. Like, I don't understand why they haven't done it yet.
Here's my take. The bootleg with Daniel Jones is a good play call on first down, not on third down. Okay. It was a first down play where he can slide, go down, and live to see another down if he sees 2 defenders running at him at once, like he did. He saw 2 defenders. He said, shit, it's third down. I got to get in the end zone. So he tried to truck through a linebacker and he got a concussion and he had to get carted off the
very
field.
Valid.
On first down, he rolls out there. He sees 2 defenders. He goes down and lives to see another down. He says, on second down, let's throw the ball. That was a first down play call that they called on third down. So situationally, a bad play call. First down, halfback dive. Okay, I mean, it's literally the most basic, generic play call ever on the goal line. Sometimes it works, though. The Giants have had some success on the 1-yard line running halfback dive, so they did it. Didn't work. Second down, let's just line up in the exact same personnel package, the exact same formation, and just run the exact same play over again. Really stupid, in my opinion. I honestly think on first down, when they were on the 1 or 2 yard line, QB sneak, call it a day, touchdown. Guarantee you do. I guarantee you they score a touchdown and do a QB sneak.
Tom Brady's made a living doing that.
Exactly. Tom Brady's made a living doing a lot of things, but QB sneak is something that he's done very well, very successfully, and it does have a very high conversion
and he's
rate
the
in
most,
the NFL.
He's the most immobile quarterback to ever set foot on a football field.
You don't have to be mobile just to do a QB sneak.
You have to pick the right spots. Right. Just go behind Will Hernandez. Go behind your big mauler and just freaking lean in. Like, I agree with you, though. Like, I don't
fall forward for a yard.
I mean, you have guys like Kadarius Toney, like Kenny Galladay, like Kyle Rudolph to avoid this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to avoid massive
Formation?
concussions.
Remember that bunch formation that we were talking about? Just have them in a bunch formation, have the point receiver run one way and have the other receiver go that way. He'll scheme them wide open. Jason Garrett doesn't want to do that. He's like, let's just hand it off and run into people. Okay, if you want to just run into people and you want your quarterback to just run into people, you're putting your quarterback in a position to get a severe concussion that's going to keep him out multiple weeks. So thank you for that, Jason Garrett. The stupid play call that you decided to pick got your quarterback injured.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I'm going to say why I don't understand why the Kadarius Toney bubble screen from the 1 isn't called. I feel like it would be a touchdown like 75% of the time. He is so good at making tacklers miss. I guarantee you he gets in there. I just don't understand. Like, I feel like it's obvious to most people, but like not to them. Like you said, running the same exact formations. And they, by the way, even on the touchdown run on 4th and short where they did get it in, it was the same exact play call. They ran the same exact call 3 times out of 4 downs. Like, I know it should be easy to get it in from the 1, but it's not that easy. You know, they're playing to stop you. They're playing to stop the run. You know what I mean? Maybe if you do a bootleg play action, have your tight ends come out the other side on the drag. You know what I mean? Like 90% of fucking teams do. Sorry for my language, but I'm getting pissed off here. Like we see tight ends do this all the time. Well, they'll influence block and they'll come around. So when Daniel Jones rolls out there and there's 2 guys going to hit him in the freaking head, he can just dump it off and nobody's there. You know what I mean? He drew in 2 defenders there. So clearly there's a lot of defenders being allocated to stopping him in the run. You can't guard everybody, man. So, you know, that's kind of how I feel. I think that for the most part, just disappointing, but I'll tell you what, this team has some fight, man. They didn't lay down. They had a lot of injuries. They had a lot of adversity, and they fought the whole time. They put everything on that field, man. They left it all, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that at the very least. However, you know, the defense didn't really lose anybody. You know, we do have Jabril and Blake Martinez out, but they couldn't stop the run for anything, man. And that's not just them. It's the whole league. Dallas's offense is legit. And I will say this, I think if we had all of our weapons and our offense was clicking more and we had more possession, we would have held them to a lot. It was 17-13 at the half. We were in this game with all of our players healthy. It wasn't until they all went down that it started to get out of hand. But I'll tell you what, they had 324 receiving yards and 200 rushing yards. Ezekiel Elliott had 110. Their backup running back, Tony Pollard, had 75, right? That's embarrassing. Where is Dexter Lawrence? Where is Leonard Williams? Dexter Lawrence got pulled for a portion of the game because he wasn't doing anything. He's not stopping the run well. He's not doing much. Where we miss Blake Martinez drastically. He didn't have a great start to the season, but we miss him a lot. Tate Crowder's okay. He's average at best. Reggie Ragland, average, below average for the most part.
I
don't
actually thought
understand
Tate
why
Crowder was very bad today. I noticed many plays where the tight ends and receivers
he was
just
wide
sat
open.
down in zones, and he just couldn't get there. He was not fast enough. He didn't read it properly. Anybody was getting open in coverage against Tate Crowder today. It was really bad.
It's not just today. It was against the Washington football team too. He let that big reception to J.D. McKissick for the one that got the field goal on. Like he's a terrible coverage linebacker. Absolutely horrendous. The Giants need to spend a mid-round pick next year on a linebacker, not the last pick in the draft. They'll get Blake Martinez back. They'll still have Crowder. A year of experience is good, but they need to have some competition there. I mean, I know Carter Coughlin's not much of a coverage linebacker either, but I think that's kind of the role they wanted Aaron Robinson to play. They wanted him to play that money backer role, but he hasn't been anywhere close to healthy. Ellerson Smith is still out. These guys, the injuries are just ridiculous. Like rookies having these injuries, man. What happens? Like they weren't even at training camp yet and they were injured. They came into camp injured. What were they doing? You know what I mean? Well, it's crazy.
Yeah, one thing that I'll say as well, though, is Kadarius Toney is now dealing with an injury. He played through it because he was out there on the sideline. He was pissed, and he said, no, everybody's getting injured. I'm staying in, which I thought was awesome. Showed his big heart, showed his love for football. I know a lot of people have questioned Kadarius Toney's love for football. Go watch this game again. Go watch what he did when he got injured.
No excuse.
He screamed on the sideline. He
He's
said, tape up my leg. I'm going back out there. He made no excuses for himself. He played through an injury, and he's going for an X-ray right now, according to Jordan Rappaport. So whatever that was, or Jordan Rannon, according to Jordan Rannon, he's going for an X-ray. So whatever injury it was might be a little bit more serious than we know, but he played through it anyway for the love of the game and for the love of the New York Giants. So no more slander for Kadarius Toney, but also Saquon Barkley on crutches with a boot on his left ankle following the game. Sounds like that's a pretty significant injury. You see a player in a boot, I don't think they're playing the next week. I think he's out for 5, probably 6 weeks. 4 weeks. Yeah, probably 5 to 6 weeks.
He's out until after the bye week. Yep, for sure. Probably. This is another high, dude. I guarantee you, it's a high ankle sprain on his left ankle. Once you get them, I've had multiple, all on the same ankle. Once you get one, it makes getting the second one so much more likely. And then after that, it's just you can't. It just doesn't go away, man. It's just you always got to be careful with it. It's definitely a high ankle sprain. He's gonna be out. He's gonna be out 6-7 weeks. He won't be the same the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's completely accurate analysis. But one thing I'll say is I just feel so bad for Saquon Barkley. He didn't ask to be the second overall pick. Like, he didn't ask for all of this high expectations that he was given once he got to the Giants. He just wanted to come in there, play football, and be good at what he does. And he is really good at what he does. But injuries have just derailed this kid's career, and it's really tough to watch. And it's really sad to watch. They've really derailed his career in the worst way. It's very sad. I mean, I know a lot of people who watch the Giants love Saquon Barkley. A lot of them, you don't like Saquon Barkley because you don't think he was worthy of being the second overall pick because he was running back. Regardless of where you sit on that debate, it sucks watching this player just consistently get injured. Every time he fights back from one injury, he just gets hurt again. It's like Derrick Rose in his MVP season. Amazing. Gets injured, fights back, gets injured again. It sucks to watch this happen. And I really, prayers up for Saquon, Kenny Golladay, Daniel Jones, all of them. It's really tough watching these players get injured like this. But for Saquon Barkley especially, this is really sad to watch his career just get derailed by injuries.
Also, I'll tell you what, Kadarius Toney going to get x-rays on his leg, foot, whatever it was, leg or ankle after the game tells me he's probably not playing next week either. They're going to need Slayton and Shepard back because this is, I mean, they lost. They could potentially be without Daniel Jones, Saquon, and Kadarius Toney and Kenny Golladay next week.
Yeah, I think it's precautionary. I think he's going to be okay. Still, his ankle. I don't think the X-ray is going to be indicative of being out next week.
He played on it. If he had broken something, he would know. He wouldn't. Adrenaline wouldn't even carry you through that.
I think he's going to be willing to play through it next week as well. If Joe Judge lets him. Joe Judge is talking about how he's going to be condoned and punished for his little punch at the end of the game.
Shut up, Joe, man. He was the only one that fought out there. He was the only one I saw that was fighting. Be like, use this as a learning experience. Don't punish the kid like excessively for
At least he's
fighting
playing
and
with some
going out
heart, dude.
injured. He has heart, man. Like he wants to play. Don't do what they did to OBJ. Like they alienated him and they made him feel like it was like everybody was against him. Like don't make Kadarius Toney feel like everybody's against him. Make him feel like let's use this as a learning experience. Obviously we don't want to do this in a game. We have to have cooler heads. Teach him the right way. Don't punish him with like physical abuse, man. Like don't make him run or do any of that crap. Just like punish him with a learning. Use a Ted Lasso. If you watch Ted Lasso, be a Ted Lasso for this. Like use it as a teaching.
You reference
teaching
Ted
moment.
Lasso frequently, Alex.
You gotta watch the show, man.
You must
It's really
love this show.
phenomenal.
I also we
good.
have an update from Kenny Galladay on Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay says he hyperextended his knee in the first quarter, tried to play through it but couldn't. It happened on the play when Diggs jumped the route and they collided. So totally unrelated to his hip, to his hamstring, to everything else that he's been injured with. This dude has hurt every single part of his leg.
Every part of his body. Every part of his body has been hurt. The guy is a walking boot, a walking injury boot. I mean, at this point, guys, just enjoy the rest of your week. Forget about this. It's going to be a long season. We're not winning the next couple of games because we have so many injuries. We'll be here. We're not going anywhere. We'll be surviving through it all, no matter what.
We'll still be posting every single day, despite the terrible topics we have to discuss. But let me know which college player you want me to start taking a look at. Let me know which NFL draft prospects you want me to start doing film breakdowns on.
Might be an early draft type of year for us. But guys, that'll wrap up this episode talking about this team, this loss. Defense needs to step it up. Edge rush needs to step it up. Secondary, Swiss cheddar. Offensive line, Swiss cheddar this week. Although Dallas didn't have any sacks, they had 7 QB hits. Prayers up to DJ, prayers up to Saquon, Kadarius, Kenny Galladay, all those guys that got hurt today. Need them to be healthy. Need it to be short-term stuff. Let's really hope for the best case scenarios. But enjoy the rest of your weekend, my friends, and we'll catch you guys on the next New York Giants video. Make sure to subscribe below on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube as always.